chapter 19, verse 30. And I have a little support that comes from Luke, chapter 14, verse 28. John chapter 19, 30. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." Luke chapter 14, verse 28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Will he not first sit down and estimate the cost to see if he has enough money to complete it? This morning I ask you, are you up to completing the task? A little over 5 years ago, some of you know this, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I met with a group of members from our church in our sanctuary area, and we prayed 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 that the cancer would be taken away. And in that moment, in that prayer circle, I felt the cancer leave my body. But Jesus said, well, I've got a task for you. You are healed from this cancer, but you're still going to have surgery. You're going to have chemotherapy. You're going to have radiation, and then other complications to follow. Are you up to the task? Jesus then defined my purpose about why I'm here on this earth. What are you here on this earth for? Many years ago, this country was consumed with Dr. Rick Warren's series, The Purpose-Driven Life. For 40 days, people were asked to study the Word of God and to find their purpose on this 40-day journey. Since its inception, many scholars have dissected the series, and some don't agree with Dr. Warren's theology. But whether you agree with his theology or not, we can all agree that we were put on this earth for a purpose. The young people say, it's just me doing me. I'm just being me. Let me be me and do my thing. However you define it, it's your purpose here on this earth. Jesus was clear about his purpose for being here on this earth. From the moment he startled his parents at 12 years old when they thought they had lost him and found him in the temple, and he said, "Why are you searching for me? Didn't you know I had to be in my Father's house?" To Jesus performing his first miracle at the wedding banquet when he turned the water into wine, to him performing miracles of healing and casting out demons and feeding thousands with just a couple of loaves of bread and a few fish. Jesus knew what he came here to do. As he was completing the task, no matter how difficult it became, even as he hung there on the cross. The miracles were wondrous to us, but it was the work that Jesus was assigned by God to do. This morning I attended the NAACP's prayer breakfast, and their theme was completing the task based on the text. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Will he not first sit down and estimate the cost to see if he has enough money to complete it? And the NAACP charged the community with completing the task that we're dealing with healthcare reform, with the racism, with the sign, I think it's by Lodi, that says, "Buck Obama." And it can't be taken down because it's on private property, and there's really no profanity. And the woman whose property is on says, well, it's not really hurting anybody. The NAACP was charging the community to go out there and deal with not only civil rights issues, but human rights issues. In this passage, Jesus is calling his disciples and asking them if they are up to the task. In the book of Mark, Jesus declared that I will destroy this man-made temple and in 3 days build another one that to God as Jesus did, it is finished. Do you know what on earth you're here for? Or are you just passing time, lollygagging day by day? Jesus was a taskmaster and task-oriented, and he knew what he needed to do in order to declare it is finished. As he hung there nailed to the cross, Jesus went down his to-do list, if you will, and he said, one-on-one time in communion with my Father, check. Having compassion on others, check. Teaching how to live as God intends us to live as brothers and sisters, check. Praising the name of God and always giving thanks, check. Forgiving sins, check. Sacrificing, check. Suffering, check. Well, Daddy, it's all done. Everything you've asked me to do it. Now here I am. I've been nailed to this cross. I've been betrayed. I've been beaten. I've been mocked. I've been laughed at. I've been humiliated. And I've carried the weight of the world on my shoulders. And they are here with me, nailed to this cross. And I humbly present myself to you as I excitedly say, it is finished. This country may seem as if we're going backwards with all of the hatred and the racism that we've heard in the news, but on this day, whether it's cold and rainy or sunshiny outside, we can rejoice that we have already been equipped to complete the task God has assigned. So no matter how overwhelming things may seem, remember that Jesus completed his to-do task so that we could be empowered to complete ours. This is the time to pick up our crosses and lay our problems at the foot of the cross. It's the time to get in alignment with God and to know what on earth we are here for, and to speak to our situations and our sufferings with the authority from heaven and declare it is finished. It's complete, it's done, it's all gone, no more, mission accomplished. What on earth are you here for? Are you up for the task? Can you declare it is finished? If you can't, start by telling lazy and empty worship